So let's start creating a program using switch case. Switch case, we have to first create a project. So let's create a Java project which is called example. Next, we go finish. We don't create a module, and that's a switch case example. We go and create a new class. Let's call it switch case example. So let's see. So first few things, we have our switch case. The first thing we need to do is import java.util dot. This is to take input. We say go back. So you can, oops, let's pick one source which actually does read scanner. So we say scanner, new scanner input. Now a few things we need to know is, say, like A is equal to 90 to 100, B is equal to 80 to 89, essentially, like, between 89 or less than 90 is basically, so say 80 to 90. Let's see, so 90 is still A. C is equal to 70 to 80. D is equal to D, we take 60 to 70. E is equal to 70, no, 60 to 50, and then F is below 50. Okay, so first things first. So let's see, first we need to do system out dot println, basically enter score. Okay, and then we say double score is equal to sc dot next double. We take a double for score because you can have a 89.5 or a 90.5 or a 90.6. So once we have the score, then we do switch. Now the thing is, switch takes a value in there and it gives you and you can have cases basically of what grades you actually want. So let's try. Now double essentially is, in this case you have a few things. So in this case, the value that we put in switch is basically an integer. So what we can do is we can do int switch score is equal to sc, basically is your value coming in, which is basically score, divide by 10, which essentially gives you values of 0 if the score is, let's see, if the score is less than, if the score is less than 10, if the score is between 10 to 20, it gives you a value of 1, then 2, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now the thing is, what this is a double, so we have to do an int, which this is called typecasting, which actually allows a double to be converted to an integer. And in this case, let's see what values it gives. System dot out dot println switch variable for score, which is essentially, let's say in this case would be, okay, so switch variable for score. So So your type. So case, we need to basically make sure case is say 9. Case 9, and you can do case 8, case 7, case 6. Basically, this is for 9200, because 9200 divide by this thing, this will give you a full integer, so it will give you the lower value. So this is 80 to 90. This is 70 to 80. This is 60 to 70. And then we can do so. So basically what happens is you put a value in here, and depending on that value, it will do what case it needs to be. It's like an if, but a much cleaner way of if when you have more than one option to take care of. So in this case, we put in switch score value in there. And now another thing that we need to know is essentially if we have this value and we don't put anything here, so after it executes 9, it will execute 8, 7, 6, depending on what your values are. So in order to do, so we do break basically, so it comes out of this loop, comes out of this, and gets to here after the switch is ended. Another thing is good is basically to indent something like this. So we say so value between 90 and 100. So let's see if it works basically. So we can say, oops, so value between 90 and 100, value between 80 and 90, and then we put a break in here. Just keep in mind, I'm actually indenting. So basically it just seems, so this is essentially indenting. So what is this saying? Is a duplicate case. Do I have two duplicate cases? I actually don't. I have a, oh yes, there you go. I have a case 5, 52. You can only have one case, and less than 50, which will be for case 4, case 3, case 2, case 1, and case 0, we do F. So let's see if this actually works. So we need to do case break. And then there is something which is called a default case, which catches everything which is not caught in the case. Why is it? Let's see. Ah, see, it has to be a colon after, not a semicolon. There we go. Looks good. Let's see. Compile. It'll say what my score is. Number. So number 70. So what happens? It's between 70 and 80. Okay. Switch score is 7, and it's between 70 and 80. So let's try another one. So now value between 90 and 80 is grade is A. So we do grade A. grade A. Then we can do grade B. And we can do grade C. Grade D. So some things to take care about. So the only things to take care about is that I am for multiple values, I can put these together. That means for case 43210, it will give me this value. So I can say grade F here. Now the issue, and I can say for default, which I have not covered, I can say grade F. So if I have, that means grade E, okay. So let's check again. Let's see. So a few things though. So if I put a, say a 45 score, it should give me a fail. Score switch score 4. If I do a 39, it should still give me an F, but the value is 3. So it says anything which is 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or 0, it will do that. Now, if I do something different, so if I put a negative score, let's see what happens. So if I put a minus 100 and 100, see, it gives minus 10, which is basically grade F. Now, if I give a 110, it still is a gift. So we need to fix that. So let's see. So if I try 110, which means, so what does that mean? That means if my switch score is greater than 10, that means positive 10, then I make it score equal to 9. That means anything over, that means anything over 100 will be an A. So let's see. I say this is called data fixing. So you are fixing the data at the input so that the answers are correct. So I put 100 and 100. It still gives me F. Why? Because at that point, the score is not 10. It'll be 11. So if the score is this value will only work for 11. So if the score is greater than equal to 10, then, so let's see, let's try 100. So score 10, value between, so the value is changed to 9. So when the value is changed to 9, the grade becomes A. 100, anything, the, so essentially what is happening here? So what is happening here is you have a value that you take into a switch statement, and depending on the value, it goes to whatever case it needs to. There is a break statement which tells the compiler, okay, I do not want to be in this. I finished the execution of this case. I want to get out of this switch case. Similarly, a break here also tells the same thing, assuming I do not put a break. So if I do not put a break, so if I don't put a break, it will just fall through everything. Like that means it will also do the default case and it will also do essentially the other case. So if I put a say 45 score, so it executes this one, but there is no break, so it continues to execute this one too. You see? So if I put a break here, it will only give me one value of f, only one value f. Otherwise, it gives me two values of f. If I do 45, f, one value between fail. So it gives you this guy and this guy after that. So that's how you do the grading system using a switch case. So switch case is used in place of if then. You can do the same thing with if then. Use when you have more than one option. Like you have 10 or 15 options, too many ifs become messy. So it's much better to use use the case statement where you have a switch basically telling you what conditions you want to do. And then for each condition, you have a case. And then you have a default case. Default case is anything that you don't cover in your cases. Now, in this case, we had a score and we needed to convert it into a number. So we do a typecasting into an int. This is a double. We convert it into an int basically, and we get this value. for the switch statement, which actually is like for a value of 10, like for a value of 100, it becomes 9. For a value of this thing, uh, between 80 and 90, it becomes an 8. Between 70 and 80, it becomes a 7, and so on. So that's what we are actually using to determine the grade. So while checking the edge cases, it actually tells us edge case is a case which is not used in the normal mode of operation. Is a special case. Not too many people get 110 or 120. You get 110, 120 only if you are over, essentially, uh, like with extra credit. So that finishes this.